Greetings guys, Si here and welcome back. Ooh, tripped over. Welcome back to Projectleft. Today is a very special day because it is my birthday. Don't worry, I don't expect any presents. Just a little happy birthday in the comments below would go a long way. Thanks in advance to anyone that actually does that. So today in my daily catch-up recap of the year of Projectleft is going to be the letter H, and that is all about handicap. We're going to go through the handicap system with someone that doesn't know it very well, but first, quite an exciting and a little bit nostalgic event to do. So let's go. Right, school coaching done. That was a great morning, introducing some new faces to golf. Had to do it in their school field, which is obviously quite small, so we had to use sponge balls and limited speed. We did have a bit of fun trying to hit the school roof, which was excellent, and it was also a little bit weird going back somewhere that I went for work experience 22 years ago. Not much has changed in the layout of the school in that time. Obviously the staff have changed dramatically. I doubt there's many staff left from 22 years ago. But it was weird going back into that place, and especially on your birthday, just a little bit of a nostalgic moment reminding you how old you actually are. So now I'm going to head to Bury Golf Club, going to meet up with a special guest, and we're going to talk all about the handicap system, the positives, the negatives, any questions, any queries that he might have regarding the handicap system. So let's get up there. Just down the right. Might be in the field.
I think very in the field.
Right, we found Ryan.
Oh,
say hi.
First swing.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Hi, how are we?
I'm good. Right, we're going to play the first hole as a bit of a warm-up. We're going to have a chat about handicap.
Yes.
You got some questions for me?
I have.
Good. Right, let's go. Right then, okay, so hit me with some handicap system questions.
First one is, how does it work? Because
how does it work? Okay.
I've put in a random number of cards with a random number of scores. How do they work out? Is it an average of those scores? How does it happen?
Okay, good, great question. Right, we'll have a hunt in these trees for your ball while I answer that question. Found his ball. Oh, great strike. Nice. Yeah, great shot. Yeah, don't want that one back.
Thank you.
Okay, so golf courses.
Yes.
All golf courses have a par. You understand that bit?
I understand.
You understand that concept, okay? Golf courses also have what's called a stroke index and a standard scratch. Yeah?
Yep. Okay.
So stroke index is the rating of the hole. Okay. So stroke index is how hard each hole is, 1 to 18, 18 being the easiest.
Yep.
That's a pretty easy concept to get.
Yes.
Standard scratch is essentially how hard the golf course is relative to par. Okay, so basically what that means is if a scratch golfer goes round the golf course, what would they expect to get? Exactly. So round Bury St Edmunds, off the white tees, the standard scratch is 72 and the par is 72.
So,
okay? So it's the same, yeah? And on a lot of courses, just having a scan for my ball.
Hey, somewhere.
Just around here, we'll find it in a minute. So basically there's a standard scratch and a par. Sometimes there's a disparity, but for clarity in this example, they're the same.
Right, yes.
You then have a handicap category, okay? In men's golf, there are 4 handicap categories. Category 1,
yep.
0 to 5, or minus to 5, yeah. Category 2, 6 to 12.
Yep.
Category 3, 12 to 18. Category 4, 18 plus, okay? And it's important that you know what handicap category you're in, because the next bit is relative to that. You then get what's called a buffer zone each time you play.
Right.
Okay, so you go out, par is 72, you play around a golf off 18 handicap, you have 93 shots, take off your 18, and obviously left with 75.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty easy maths to work out. You're then 3 over par,
yes.
3 over standard scratch, your category handicap 3, and you have a 3-shot buffer zone.
Right.
So that's pretty easy. If you're in category 4, you have a 4-shot buffer zone. Okay, if you return a score within your buffer zone, your handicap doesn't move.
Okay.
It stays exactly as it is. Doesn't go down, doesn't go up.
Right.
Okay. If your net score, so once you've taken your handicap off, is worse, so if you've gone around in 94, and you'd had net 76.
Yeah.
You're obviously 4 over par. You're 1 outside your buffer zone.
Yeah.
Your handicap goes up 0.1.
Right.
You can be 10 shots over your handicap, 20 shots over your handicap. You still only ever go up 0.1.
Right. Okay. That's important, because that's where, like, you think, oh, I've scored horribly.
0.1. It's all it counts for, and actually that's a really good thing. If you're playing badly, don't worry about it. The worst you can do is go up 0.1. The flip side to that is obviously when you have a good round. Okay, so a good round is any score returned better than par or standard scratch.
Right.
So better than standard scratch. So if you went round in 89 off your 18, you'd have net 71.
Yes.
Okay, that would be 1 shot better than your handicap. Yeah?
Yeah.
So remember, you're in category 3 handicap, so you get cut 0.3 for that shot that you're under your handicap. So then if you played 2 under your handicap, you get cut 0.6. 3 under 0.9, 4 under 1.2, and you keep getting cut 0.3 of a shot until you reach that next buffer zone, that next handicap bracket of handicap 12. It's actually pretty simple.
It is pretty simple.
Yes.
So it's once you start getting under, it's easier to
just turn the side. There's someone here. Shot. Just turn the volume down a bit. Yeah, we can keep talking.
It's easier to cut your handicap than it is to actually increase it. Although I find it very easy to increase my handicap.
But you're only by
difficult to cut
0.1.
it.
Right. We'll continue that conversation in a minute. Let me just hit my. Basically, I've got a little stat that I'm going to put up on the screen as we're going along, and it's basically how often you should play to your handicap.
Right.
So I think people get really upset when they don't play to their handicap, and they go up 0.1.
Yeah.
But in competitions, category 1 handicap players, so the best players out there, play to their handicap 36% of the time.
That's really low.
Yeah. Category 2, 32. Category 3, 29. Category 4, 26%. And then obviously category 5, which is 29 and above, for ladies and beginner golfers, is 19%. So the worse golfer you are, the less often you play to your handicap. Which kind of makes sense.
Absolutely, yeah, it makes
but
sense.
if the best stat is 32%, this is from 2016, so it's not like it's exactly ancient data. I mean, we got to be far more kind on ourselves, and also think of handicap as our playing potential, not our playing average.
And that's what I thought, and I've always been a bit annoyed when, you know, I'm at 18 handicap and I'm still shooting after handicap deduction 7, 8 over, and I'm like, how am I so bad? Yeah. Well, that's interesting. So 1 in 4 times I'll go round at my handicap.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other 3 times I'm going to be over.
Yeah, over. And potentially you might be in your buffer zone on some of those, but equally that's why you've got a bit of a bigger buffer zone, because when you go wrong, you're likely to go more wrong.
That's so reassuring.
Yeah, and I think this is, again, something that's really important for people to know, because if you don't know this, then you can go around beating yourself up thinking, oh, I've got to play to my handicap all the time. You shouldn't. You shouldn't have to. Right, let's just chip shot. Right. I do enjoy your chipping. Is definitely getting better, buddy, isn't it? It's definitely getting better. Oh, he's done well. Done well. Oh, just speed that. There's a lot of swavature on this putt.
A lot of swav.
First part of the day. Let's use it that way. Flies.
Oh,
again, just pace, wasn't it?
Yep.
I was good. I was all ready to say no flies on me and all that stuff.
Yeah,
never
well.
mind. So, does that give you a better understanding of the handicap system?
It does, and it gives me I'm more relaxed actually. I feel like I can go out. It doesn't matter if I'm having a horrible round. It's only going to cost me 0.1 on my handicap, which is good, because I feel like if I'm not playing very well,
Yeah.
then I can still relax about it. That's not an issue.
No.
And I think that's really important for people of my level and some left-handed level, that yes, we all want to be better golfers and we all want to have lovely low hand, you know, when you're down in the pub with your mates and you go, oh, what do you play off? And you want to go, oh, well, I'm off 2, you know. Yeah.
But
if
equally,
you're playing bad, it's not a problem.
Exactly. Are you going any other questions?
Yeah, so with like a Stableford system, does that come into like, you know, with the points and the
How does that work?
how does that work? Yeah, and like, you know, do they work it out as in, like, you know, if I play badly on the stroke index 1, do I get a bit more grace for that than if I play badly on the stroke index 18?
Very good question. Right, we've got a par 3 to play. We'll hit our tee shots and we'll talk about that.
Oh, yes. Struck that nicely. Oh, and he's on the green.
Dancing.
Well done, sir.
The Golf National TP.
The Golf National, thank you all. So, I had a question about how the handicap is worked out. So we explained, obviously, it's on the total score, but do we get a bit of grace for if I play badly on a stroke index 1 versus if I play badly on a stroke index 18?
Okay. So we're going to assume that everybody down here knows about Stableford scoring. We're just going to stop here because there's a few people about. So Stableford points system, okay, which you understand and hopefully people understand. If you don't understand it, go find a video. There's plenty of info out there on Stableford scoring. Now, for your handicap, so forget the competition. So you're playing in a competition. The competition score is the score, but for your handicap, every single round gets turned into a Stableford for points allocation within the handicap system. So you can have a 10 or a 12 on a hole. You're out the competition.
Yeah.
But for your handicap, that still only goes down as a blob.
Yes.
So if you have a bad hole in a round, don't worry about it because it just counts as a blob. So you can be 6, 7, 8 over your handicap for a particular hole, but it just counts as a blob. You then have 2 pars on the next 2 holes, get you 3 points, you're back to level handicap. And I think that's quite reassuring as you go around the golf course as well, because oftentimes, like especially if you the first here as a prime example, people start with 9s and 10s.
It's a tough starting hole,
and you've got 17 holes left to play. If you think you're out of everything, it's really demoralising, isn't it?
So to take it just hole by hole, bad hole doesn't matter.
Not for your handicap, which at the bottom line is the end result for your golf, isn't it? Your result of golf. Okay, it's nice to win trophies, it's nice to win things, but the idea of golf is to get your handicap as low as possible. Yeah,
and enjoy it at the same time, and so one bad hole isn't a bad round.
No, exactly. And was that something you knew?
That was something I didn't know. Obviously, I knew that in the Stableford.
When you're playing
competition, but not how it related to a handicap.
Stroke play, exactly. So even if you're playing medal play, your handicap for that round is still going to be based on Stableford, because again, the whole point of the handicap system is to get you down. If they're only expecting you to play a quarter of the time to your handicap, then everything's in your favour to help your handicap get lower, because the bottom line is nobody wants people's handicaps to be too high.
No,
because nobody wants to be going out there and thinking they have to get 46, 47 points to win an event. And if people's handicaps are too high, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Always bladed it, but he's not played it too badly. It's coming round. Oh, yes. Should we see it? Well, maybe we should have seen it.
Go on, you can have that.
After those eventful tee shots, one left, one right. Any more questions on handicaps? We've only got time for one more.
Okay, so my final question is, and it's a little bugbear of mine, are there any rules in handing in cards and stuff? Because I feel like there's people out there who aren't handing in cards to get the correct handicap and then playing in competitions, and I feel like getting an unfair advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it is a difficult one. Obviously, if people are intent on fudging the handicap system, then they will do that, and with any system people will find ways and means around it. I think this is one of the things. We've got a new handicap system coming in, hopefully next year, possibly 2021. They're not quite sure when the release date of it all is now, but they're going to definitely encourage people to put more cards in, and I think the more cards you have to put in, the better it kind of works itself out in the kind of grand scheme of things. At the moment, you only have to return 3 cards a year to keep your handicap active,
which is quite a small number
in 12 months. It's not a lot, is it? No. It's not a lot of recorded data for anybody, and if people want to manage their handicaps and keep them in and around, either too low or too high, it works both sides of the coin. People's ego try to keep the handicaps too low. Equally, people want their handicaps too high so they can win stuff. Generally, it will work itself out eventually. People will win to a level, and kind of get plateau at that level, which happens to every handicap. It's just frustrating, isn't it? They're trying to change it to 8 rounds a year, which is better. And I understand that it's got to be a global system, so there'll be a lot of places in the world where they can only play golf 6 months of the year. So you've got to take that into account. You know, if you're asking someone to return 8 cards, but they can only play for 6 months, that then becomes a bit harder, but still achievable, I think.
Yeah.
Especially now you can do cards over 9 holes. You don't have to play all 18 holes, which I've certainly noticed with my kind of time pressures that I have. 9-hole supplementaries are what I've got, you know, especially in the summer when I'm busier and working more in the shop and working more teaching, then you have to do what you have to do. But yeah, in terms of fudging the system, it would be lovely if everybody returned every single card and they were all very honest about it, but that's not life, is it?
No,
you
people
don't
want to gain
get,
advantage.
People are going to try, you know, just like they do at every sport, they're
Yeah.
going to try and gain advantage. But I think the governing bodies are doing what they can to try and eliminate that. And also, just remember the way the handicap system works. You get cut far quicker than you go up.
Yes.
So if you are trying to protect a handicap, and then let's say you're protecting it for an event, and you go and play really well on that event and win it, your handicap will get cut a lot for it. You've also got exceptional scoring reductions built into the handicap system. So if people consistently play well, even if that isn't under the handicap, but in and around the handicap, more than that, like 35-40%, the computer, the logarithm, the formula will go, you're playing too well, you're going to have an extra half a shot, you're going to have an extra shot, you're going to have an extra 2 shots taken off your handicap. And again, people don't like that, but that's part of the system. And again, it's all about trying to make it as fair for as many people as possible.
I think, and that's the thing for handicap, it is to level the playing field.
It's not to give anyone an unfair advantage, either by having their handicaps too high that they're too competitive, or so low that they get into events that they probably shouldn't get into. You've got to remember that a lot of people keep their handicaps low so they can play in things that they feel they deserve to play, and even when maybe their ability isn't quite as good as it is. It's both sides to it. Right, we've got some balls to find, haven't we? And we've got some ladies behind us. They're not coming yet, but let's go. Oh! Should be fine. Played it okay. Yeah, it looks like he's on the surface.
That lovely shot there.
That could be quite close.
I didn't see where mine landed. I was ducking for a 4 right. So.
Yeah, there was some 4 action going on. I could be quite close. It was a good line, but... Come on, Bin. Love to see a birdie. Yeah, Nolo. And this putt turns dramatically right. So there we go. That was an interesting chat about handicap. Do you feel like you learned something?
I definitely learned something.
Yes.
I think it's good to know that you can actually relax if you're not having a good round. I know it's hard when you're like, oh, I'm really not playing well. Oh, it's going to cost me. It doesn't cost you as much as you think. And actually, when you're having a good round, there's more reward in it, which I think is also reassuring. So if I'm playing well, it can give you that little bit of boost you may need.
Yeah.
And if you have a bad hole, it's just one bad hole, not one bad round.
Exactly. And even if you have a bad round, it's only 0.1. So yeah, the handicap is there to work in your favour.